What's up, guys? This is Danny Langlois. Just wanted to pop in for a real quick episode with the question I ask leaders all the time. It's so important we're intentional about this. Here's the question. I want you to give some thought to this. Are you a thermostat or are you a thermometer? Think about it. A thermostat sets the temperature for the house, sets the temperature in the room. A thermometer tells us what the temperature is in the room, the temperature is in the house. As leaders, we set the tone of the organization. It cannot be understated the impact that leaders have in setting the tone for their entire organization. Check this out. So there's actually a study out there and research to confirm this. It's something I believe for a very, very long time. At the beginning of a day, if a leader comes in to their organization, walks in the door of their company, and brings positive energy, positivity, and shares that positive energy and positivity with their team, it significantly enhances the likelihood their team member will be positive that day, will have a good day, will feel energized, and will feel motivated. Think about this. Coming into your organization, making eye contact, sharing a smile, asking how their day's going, bringing this positive energy and sharing that with them, right? Asking if they have any important plans coming up this weekend, asking how the kids are doing, asking how everything is going out on the front lines. Just by taking the time to come in, to share some positivity, to set the tone, to set the energy, it substantially increases the likelihood that our people will have positive energy, will have a better day, will be more energized, will be more motivated. We just cannot understate the importance of this. And when we think about the opportunity we have, especially the higher up we go in the organization, the higher up you go in the organization, the more removed we become from the front lines, the more removed we can become from the rest of the organization. And so there's many times, even in a small community like Dixon, where we have 103 team members, there's many times that I won't see somebody at the street department or at the water or wastewater department or the police department or the fire department for a couple weeks, maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, depending on what's going on. So there's this ability and this necessity for us to create high quality connections when we do go in and have that interaction. So I'm often asked, like, Danny, leaders aren't superhuman. We have bad days. There's times when we're just not feeling that positive emotion. I get it. You're right. It's part of the great responsibility of leadership, though, to figure out what it is that we need to do in moments, not for entire days necessarily, to dig deep and to reach in to that positive energy that we have inside of us because it's there. I just listened to a great podcast with Adam Grant. He was talking to an expert on emotions. And, emotions are nothing more than electricity in our brain, as it was described. We have the ability to choose emotion. We have the ability to choose mindset. We have the ability to dig deep within us and shift that emotion and be able, even for a short burst, to bring out positive emotion, even when there's things that aren't going our way. So there's got to be boundaries to this, right? I don't want leaders walking around faking it. I don't want leaders thinking that they've got to bottle everything up and keep everything inside. There's got to be healthy ways for us to channel that. For me, that's my assistant city manager. I've got 5 mentors. I'm able to channel that there. My wife is very understanding. She's a confidant. She's a great listener. My dad. So we got to identify who those safe people are in our lives so we can get the negative out, right? And then we also got to think about what kind of self-care type of things can we do. When I wake up in the morning, a lot of times I'll watch TikTok or something motivational on YouTube or read something inspiring just to set my day in that direction. A lot of people will engage in meditation, just get at peace, just get at with themselves, right? set their day the right way. A lot of people, and this is something I did this morning, will work out, right? I did a 20-minute interval run. Didn't really want to do it, but felt better after it. There's times in the morning where I drop off my son Theo to daycare, and he's upset, and he's crying, and it just takes an emotional toll on me. So I'll drive out to a little park. I'll sit down along the river if it's really moved me and upset me that day, which sometimes it does, and I'll get right in my own head. I'll control my breathing. I'll name the emotions that I'm having to tame them. They'll move to the prefrontal cortex. The next thing you know, I'm saying, hey, look, this is just what happens with young kids. He's going to be fine. He's in a place where he's loved. I'm sure 5 minutes after I left. But the emotional toll it takes on us. We just got to make sure that as leaders, if we're not in a good place, that we figure out how to get there, and we figure out how to be able to dive into that positive energy. And if we can't dive into that positive energy, that's okay. We just then have to minimize the contact that we're going to have. Because unfortunately, and it is a great responsibility of leadership, our microphone is always on. Consistency, consistently showing up, consistently being positive, consistently driving positive energy around our vision, around our goals, around our gratitude for our people, demonstrating through not just our words, but through the energy we share, through our body language, that we generally care about people and they're our top priority is so important. Consistency is a foundational builder of trust. People trust us to be who we are consistently day in and day out. And so I challenge leaders, as you think about this, it's something you can do over the next 24 hours. It's something you can do over the next week. Be deliberate and intentional about what energy you're showing up with. Be deliberate and intentional to be the thermostat. Be deliberate and intentional that if you walk into a room where there's lots of negativity, there's negative emotion, a negative feel, it's amazing how quickly that can be turned around by you walking in with a smile on your face, with good energy, with a positive mindset, a positive attitude, and engaging people in a positive way. In a situation, depending on what's going on, maybe the leader has to ask questions. Maybe the leader needs to share vision. Maybe the leader needs to inspire hope. But just by bringing that in, and oftentimes asking questions can be the shift for people within their own mind and their own mindset. So important. So are you a thermostat? Are you a thermometer? We cannot underestimate the power of positivity in our vision, in our daily interactions and those high quality connections, and the goal setting and expectations, really looking forward thinking, really looking to the positive versus deficit, right? Learning how to use something we'll dive into here over the next month called appreciative inquiry, the way we ask questions from a positive, from ideal positive states, and even the way that we have performance conversations. Instead of coming in and having those be scolding sessions, having those be difficult conversations, how do we turn those into positive conversations with positive energy, where at the end of it, the person, and I've experienced this before from a very great leader, feels disappointed in themselves and disappointed for letting people down. So back to the core theme of today, this very short episode, this short conversation is, are you a thermostat? Are you a thermometer? And what little things can you do if you find yourself being a thermometer, can you do to shift to be that thermostat? I can't wait to get some feedback on this, to get your thoughts on this. I do want to, dive into some smaller, shorter episodes where we kind of give one thing to think about, one thing to work on that can move us, can nudge us forward, can add layers of greatness to your leadership style and your ability. But these little things make the huge impact. How are you setting the tone for the organization? How are you setting the tone for the people around you? Are you a thermostat? Are you a thermometer? To our listeners, thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave a rating or review, especially if you're on Apple. Helps us reach more people organically. Make sure you're following us on LinkedIn, posting several times a week, free content. If you want video content, YouTube Shorts, this podcast will be on YouTube. Also TikTok. We're starting to dive into TikTok. Want to get some momentum and traction there. Do more things video to better serve our community. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, always be committed to excellence.